when I'm watching a film like this now, especially these days with this kind of comedy, the women are getting a lot of play, and they're actually really it's an interesting like kind of look into this world of female kind of psyche. And so to get a script like that where a director did he tap into it perfectly, or were you surprised at how he was like on with
Yeah, I was. I actually said to John Hamburg the other night, I was like, you like women, and that's so refreshing because that's not always the case. And you know, I don't mean to like rage against the machine, but like there definitely is a lack of roles. You know, there's a real deficit for women to play characters that are dynamic and interesting and self-possessed and opinionated in a way that's not, you know, they're either really brash and there's kind of like a cartoon, or they're really docile, and like this is kind of seemed like a real person to me, and that was what really made me want to do this, besides the fact that it was hilarious and Paul and Jason are amazing and I wanted to work with them. Like, I love the relationship between Zoe and her girlfriends because it felt really real. You don't get to see women talk as candidly about their sex life as they do in real life. You don't get to see that on screen very often. I mean, Sex and the City, but besides that.
One of my favorite scenes is the sequence where you guys, it's the girls' night in and everybody's just talking. How did you guys riff on that, or was it actually on a page to kind of
we
work
had
with?
just kind of like in general with the whole movie, you know, John was very open to us kind of doing what we wanted to do. He wanted it to feel natural, and even in seeing the movie a couple times, I realized he does use the takes where we do more improv. Like, he's attracted to that because it feels more real. But that day, I mean, we sat there for 12 hours, and we were just like, the whole time. I don't even think half the time we knew if we were filming or not, which is kind of great. It all kind of blended in. John a couple times yelled cut. We didn't hear him. He had to come into the room and be like, I said cut, ladies. Chill. Stop it. So, that's a good problem to have, you know. It was sort of it was hard to determine real life from filming, and you know, there was definitely stuff in there that was just kind of off the top of people's heads.
Are you more of a girly girlfriend or a boy? Like how do you where do you fit into the kind of how do you fit with your partner and stuff?
You know, I have a lot of guy friends, and I always have, because I think growing up I was kind of like, I'm not going to say I was a nerd because everybody says that, but I was always popular, but I wasn't like the hot girl that people wanted to date. So I was like the funny one, and you know, I liked to be social and get people together, and so I always had like a really large group of friends. I have a great set of girlfriends, but I also have a really tight-knit group of guy friends. But I tend to, when I'm in a relationship, I tend to like squeeze it down a little bit and like not do that as much. But in my ideal life, there is a bit of a balance, and everybody can kind of hang out together.
I have to ask, because some of the scenes with Paul Rudd must have been really interesting. Like, how much of a poker face do you have when he decides to go off and, I don't know, slap the bass and like all that kind of...
Not very good, apparently, because that scene in the movie was actually, I just broke at the end of that take. And I broke so bad that, I mean, he was so funny, and the entire crew was laughing. You could actually hear it. You could hear it in sound, so I had to go back and record over it. But, I mean, I didn't do a very good job of not laughing. And, like, you know, it was a matter of, could we get to the tail end of the scene without looking like we're cracking up, and make sure there's a place to cut. I mean, that was really the challenge. The middle of the scenes also, we've just ruined takes all over the place. Poor John.
Another favorite scene of mine is to watch, because you know, the character takes you to a Rush concert, and you watch these guys kind of become 10-year-old, you know, fanboys, like total geeks. Have you ever been in a situation like that? And are you a Rush fan? And you know what?
I'm a Rush fan now. I didn't really know about them, which was good, because nor did my character. But I have definitely been to a lot of concerts with guys, and they nerd out, and I just watch them. That's totally fine. They should do that. I mean, it's fine as long as you know, I feel like I'm being respected. I think it's fine.
What do you nerd out about then? Where you lose it and you just forget there are people in the room, and you kind of...
I nerd out about Jay-Z all the time. He's my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you go to the concert and you kind of...
I went to the Reasonable Doubt 10th anniversary concert at Madison Square Garden, and it was like my prom. It was like one of my favorite nights ever. Like, I dressed up and I met a friend, and it was like really exciting. I just think he's the best in the world.
I have to ask, because you know, you started your career doing dramatic roles. I mean, I remember you in Boston Public and all that. To kind of go into a way where casting directors and even directors can now see you as a comedic talent, it must be really fun to kind of go on this route. And I'm just wondering what it's like right now for you to be on this path.
It's kind of, I can't even believe it, to be honest. I'm in awe. I have so much gratitude about it, because at first I remember when I decided I wanted to do comedy, like casting directors wouldn't even see me for sitcoms and stuff. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna push through. And then really, I mean, the gift of The Office was just like, because it's such a good show, and you know, they just know how to do comedy in a way where you're not, it doesn't feel forced on you, and you know, you can really enjoy and relate to the characters. And that really just made a huge difference for me. Like, it just, people could see me in that light, and I just feel really, like, I keep, you know, I feel like a little bit like I'm cheating, because I keep popping up next to these incredibly talented comedians, and I'm, you know, like, I'm hoping that nobody, you know, finds me out. But I've been just so lucky.
One of the perks of a show like The Office is they totally do this whole uncomfortable pause thing, which there's a lot in this film too. Mm-hmm. So, how are you with, like, that's kind of like a painful humor, and I'm just wondering, like, do you like that kind of humor, and does that kind of relate? I don't know. Is that like a new kind of humor?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, it just shows that I think comedy's heading in the direction, whether it's like Apatow or The Office or this movie, like, it's heading in the direction of pulling out moments in real life that you want to laugh at, but you can't because it's too awkward or whatever, and giving people the opportunity to look at it, you know, from the outside, be like, that is really funny, I've been there, and I wanted to laugh, but now I can't because I'm sitting in a theater.
The concept of the bromance, did you know that this thing existed before there was actually a title to it, and did you, how do you observe it as an outsider to a union between two guys hanging out and stuff?
You know, I think it's really great. I don't think that I was aware of it until this movie, really, that this was actually like a modern dilemma for men. But I think it's really nice because hopefully this movie will make guys feel more comfortable about, like, hanging out with their dude friends and, like, being affectionate and intimate and not feeling threatened in any way. Like, if you're straight, you're straight. If you're gay, you're gay. There's gonna be nothing's gonna change your mind at this point. So why not, like, have a real bonding experience with another guy? I think it's really nice, and I feel like, in a way, men haven't had this opportunity. Like, women have had every opportunity to be emotional and to be nurturers and caretakers, and they also can now be successful and they can be driven, and it's not a big deal. And guys haven't really had the same opportunity to create that balance. Like, they've had no revolutions, they've had no, you know, they've had no kind of like liberation movements. So hopefully maybe this will be their movement.
That's a perfect ending. Thank you very much.
You're
Thank you. It was nice talking to you.